Good morning, welcome to Morning Review. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 2nd of November. So, looking at the euro dollar first, and as you see yesterday, well, it carried on holding on, broke the monthly pivot, and pushed on even further yesterday. At the moment, on the hourly, but from an hourly basis, we've got a slight divergence. Looking at where we are on the sort of daily as well, it just looks like there's some decent momentum in the move, really, at the moment. Maybe slowing down through this Asian session that we're sort of sitting in at the moment. It's slowed up a little bit, but all the same, it's looking quite powerful. There's the divergence that you can see there. It's extremed, sold off a while and pushed back up again. From here, well, the daily pivot's below us. There's a possibility, a probability that we could come back and touch that at some point. And with this divergence, maybe we'll see that. In some senses, we haven't even pulled back to the 21s yet, and I'm wondering if we, well, I guess the last time we did was way back in the Asian session yesterday, but we could at least pull back to those. Maybe if we break those, we'd be on for the daily pivot without giving much of the overall gain back. I mean, it may be just a buy opportunity into that pivot. We'll see. At the moment, I'm sort of I've got to be mildly bullish on the euro. I would like to have seen it run into its weekly R2 there, and that 4 hourly 200 pivot moving average even, which would equate to the daily 34 if I was going to be shorting from a higher point, but we're also looking for the short side. But as I say, maybe looking to roll. From where it is now, we'll see. Pound, well, the pound is a different picture, and it's for most of yesterday, it really just chopped, and there was a lot of volatility sitting there and very choppy moves, particularly later in the day. I noticed it's sort of it moved about 30 pips and then rallied most of that 30 pips back up in a relatively short time. Difficult to sort of decide on direction here, but well, it's not that difficult. You just set sideward. There is still the potential at some point, if you can get some sort of rally and can hold on to the gains, it could push back to its monthly pivot, and maybe with the US news coming out, I say news, but the elections and whatever else, that may be the catalyst to do that. But for now, it's choppy. So the sell side seems to, when you get into some resistance, to still provide some decent moves. It may be that I just take the shorts and leave the longs alone. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, that's starting to roll over here. There's arguable divergence on the dailies, actually, just looking through what happened there. And it's starting to roll over, caught the monthly pivot and yesterday, and carried on pushing through at the moment, and looking really we've got the possibility of it coming down to the 34, even 50. Looking from a hourly point of view and looking what's here, we've got some divergence going on in the short term. Maybe if it starts breaking back above the highs, there is a trend line that's you could draw for. Okay, it's a live candle at the moment, but if it starts breaking above this sort of trend line here, well, we could push back up for the daily pivot, the 21 moving averages there. But say there is divergence there, but you'd have to wait for confirmation of that sort of move. Otherwise, we could just see it continue to sell down to the S1 and maybe further. Aussie dollar, well, as soon as I start looking and thinking, well, it could be starting to run a bit bullish, it rolls back over, and it's done just that. Every time it gets up to, there's a sort of a point where it seems less each time at the moment. Lower highs coming in here, and it's sort of struggling. However, it's sitting there on its monthly pivot, the weekly pivot. It can gain any traction, maybe it can push up there, but there's also a trend line running across the lows here. Oops, somewhere along here, or depends how you draw it. There's another one running across here. where it could be selling through. So not looking the best. It's already caught the daily pivot. The S1 could well be on if it starts selling off, and maybe even more. It's, as I say, struggling to hold its gains. Canadian dollar, wow. That's all I could say there. It's a quick flash of the oil price. Oil's been coming off here, and perhaps we would expect the Canadian dollar to be pushing up, but the link between the two isn't quite the same as it was. So we haven't quite seen the same price action, and it's fallen out a little bit. But it actually strengthened against the US dollar yesterday marginally, but it's back into that daily 8, and it's taken a bounce from there. It's very difficult to say. From you just look at this chart, you think, well, I don't know. And that's certainly what it looks like. I mean, it's choppy as a butcher's board yesterday, and well, we could be coming back down for the monthly pivot at some point. It's broken out. There's a sort of trend line sitting across the lows, across here somewhere maybe. That's broken, but it's broken through a quiet period. Maybe if it starts getting into a proper trend and we get a couple of bars, a couple of red bars on the hourlies together, we could be starting to stitch something together, and it might come off. But as I say, yesterday it became very, very, very choppy. Okay, news-wise today we do have some. We got at 9:30. Well, actually at 8:55. There's German unemployment change. Doesn't make a massive mover to the euro, but all the same, there's potential volatility around that time. But 9:30, we've got the UK construction PMI out now. Figures yesterday didn't really give the pound a lot of movement. Construction PMI is the lesser of the PMIs in terms of movement, but any significant change could create quite a bit of volatility. And then at 12:15, hour early today, this week, because of the clocks, ADP non-farm payrolls coming out 12:15. So again, potential volatility around that time. Thereafter, it's very important this afternoon, or this evening, should I say, at 6 p.m. we've got the FOMC statement and federal funds rate. No expectation of any increases, but it will be all in the statement, and the markets will be looking for bullish sentiment. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great one. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.